My name's Chanae. I'm 32, and I work in the fashion merchandising space.
My name is Sean, husband of Chanae. I'm 32 years old. We both live on the east side of Milwaukee, and I work in the advertising industry.
If we were moving to buy this time, it would be nice to move into like a townhouse. We also thought about a duplex too, just for, our family, other friends, additional rental income.
Yeah.
So those are the two options that we've thought about a lot.
I would say some barriers in terms of obtaining a home, townhome, is, sometimes the availability within the city. We occasionally see a few that are put up, and they're usually newer construction at times, but a lot of times the pricing is up there, right? Especially us being our first purchase of a home, trying to balance that with the style of home that we like and those type of things, as well as location. Most of our desire is to stay as close as we can within the city limits. And so there's a lot more options, obviously, when we go to the suburbs. But a lot of what we talked about is the walkability, the nature of being close to the city, the things we choose to do. There's a lot of back and forth we have about potentially leaving the city because of the options that might be elsewhere. Some of it is jobs, right? There's a lot more companies, right, in a place like Chicago, for example. Housing options plays a role. But the balance of us also not wanting to leave our core friend group that's here, family members that are close by, people who have kind of just become accustomed to the fact that we're in the city. It's a hard adjustment, and it's weird to think about what the opposite of that might be. We know a couple of friends that had to leave the city to find the right type of housing for them. Some of them were led by different jobs that kind of took them out of the city. Others wanted to be around closeness of family and supportive folks, as they're raising young children. But others, again, the housing options that were there, a lot of friends of ours moved to Chicago area. Those are the kind of the things that have drawn them to cities like Chicago, where there's a little bit more choice and options, and something that's available at every price point, depending on where they're at.
Yeah, I definitely would say a lot of some of our friends have moved just because of the pricing and what they can get within their budget and what they're looking for. We see developments happening and coming about. It's hard to justify when you're living in Milwaukee, and Milwaukee's a great place to stay, but to justify paying for a townhouse that's like $900 to $1 million or something, and you can stay in an apartment that's still a couple blocks from where they're building these developments. And especially for younger folks like us, we understand that the housing market has gone crazy, right? Cost of materials, things like that they're having to pay for. But on the flip side too, with a dual income household, it's very hard to justify you paying $900 to $1 million for a house. And that's literally the only thing that you can do is purchase a house.
Yeah.
Literally nothing else.
One thing I would recommend for leaders in the city is to try to make these options a little bit more affordable. Sometimes they don't need to come with all of the bells and whistles. They don't need to be kind of, base models in a sense, but the idea is we see a lot of apartments that are really nice, but they're priced so high that as you look for a 2-bedroom even, it becomes way out of price range. And that's just apartments. So then we look at townhomes or other homes in the city, developments and new townhomes and new spaces that we see coming up for, $700K, $900K, 1.1. These are homes that we've seen pretty close examples to in Houston or Chicago for a lot less than that. And there's a lot more options. So I think just making sure that, looking at the landscape of who is available to buy these homes. There's a lot of folks who, are like us, who might look for a 2-bedroom for the first time or a 3-bedroom and are preparing for a young family or these other things, have 2 incomes. But something like $900K and up is out of a price range. So finding something that is a little more affordable, that still offers the same things, location to the city, the style of home, and those type of things is very important. So just taking some of the examples that are already here and keeping the price a little bit lower, I think can dramatically change things.